Good afternoon, all of of Directorate of Learning and Development. I welcome academic leaders, learned professors, faculty colleagues, and students of SRM Institute of Science and Technology for this panel discussion on aspects to improve teaching and learning. Being conducted on this very auspicious occasion, that is our Teachers' Day, which is being conducted on September 5, 2022. Myself, Professor Vairavel, moderator of this panel discussion. First, I would like to inform about the panelists of this program. We have Dr. Hema from Directorate of Learning and Development. Would like to discuss on learning English for specific purposes. And we have Dr. Janaki of Directorate of Learning and Development. I would like to discuss on learning electronics using circuit simulation. And we have Dr. Radhakrishnan, Director of Learning and Development. Would like to discuss on learning mathematics with simulation tools. And we have an expert, Mr. Manikandan, would brief about the learning coding using digital technologies. And we have an expert from yoga, Mr. Sudan, would like to discuss about the reducing stress among students and teachers. This we all pretty know this. The National Education Policy 2020, which was approved by the Union Cabinet of India on July 29, 2020, outlines the vision of India's new education system. The policy encompasses a broad framework for all types of education, via elementary, higher, vocational, and teacher education, etc. It also seeks to strengthen adult education and use of technology, among others. I'm pretty sure that this panel discussion will enlighten the faculty community on various aspects in improving teaching and learning. To the participants, here there's another information. This video being recorded and it will be shared to all the participants for the benefit for the faculty community. So now, without any delay, I would like to start this panel discussion. Now I invite Dr. Hema to discuss on learning English for speaking purposes. Welcome, madam.
Hello everybody, this is Dr. Hema Natarajan from the Directorate of Learning and Development. I'm really happy to be a part of this panel discussion, which gives an opportunity for me to share my opinion on English for specific purposes, learning English for specific purposes. Our lives depend heavily on the use of English language since it facilitates communication. As this is the lingua franca, all around the world it is the primary language used for studying any subject and many subjects. Students should learn English since it will broaden their horizons, help them to build their emotional intelligence, and open up better and employable opportunities. With this small introduction, I would like to talk about English for specific purposes, which is also known as ESP. It is the way of English language that attempts to equip students with the language abilities required for professional employments. As we are all aware that four fundamental skills are necessary for learning the English language. They are listening skills. It improves the imagination and vocabulary of a learner. While listening, we use it to visualize the scene and memorize in our memory. Speaking skill. Speaking allows the learner to identify his errors and make further improvements. Reading skills. A learner's vocabulary and focus are both enhanced by reading a book or a chapter. Writing skills. When we write, we become aware of what we are writing and whether we are familiar with all of the word spelling. For a better communication, to gain confidence, to exhibit an effective personality, and to be the best part of the global community, to eligible for multiple career prospects, and to improve the standards of living, one's command over language is important. I would like to further narrow down the English language usage, as the term English for medical purposes refers to the teaching of English for doctors, nurses, and other personnel in the medical profession. Now, I would like to discuss a course designed by the Directorate of Learning and Development for Occupational Therapy degree course. The course English for Medical Professional will cover fundamental grammar, specialized vocabulary, and support in improving speaking, writing, listening, and reading skills. The course is designed on the following 5 broad areas known as healthcare communication, medical observation communication, medical investigation communication, medical treatment communication, and geriatric and chronic illness communication. The course is planned with 2 theory classes followed by a practical session, so the learners can learn the concepts followed by a hands-on practical session which incorporates the national education policy and as well as on par with SDG criteria for effective learning. This course design will also give space to imbibe optimum technological intervention and andragogical teaching approaches that will stimulate higher order thinking skill. At this juncture, I would like to thank for the opportunity given to share our views on learning English for specific purposes, highlighting in adherence to the new educational policy and international standards. Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam. Thank you very much for the wonderful thought on how to learn English for a specific participants. I could able to see that you're raising questions, but we have a stipulated time available at the end of the discussion to ask questions to the panel members. So if you have any queries, you can able to highlight the questions in the chat box. So the questions will be asked at the end of the session. So next, I would like to invite Dr. Janaki to start the discussion on learning electronics using circuit simulation. I welcome you, madam.
I'd like to share some of the experience and how we can learn electronics in a better way using the circuit simulators. So we at DLD, we are having e-circuit. So through this e-circuit we can learn electronics in a better way. So the teachers can use this particular tool to teach the electronic circuits to the students in a better way, and we can help them understand the concepts in a better and to get the clarity about how the circuit works and what is the behavior, and if you change any component, how the circuit behaves. Because most of the time in electronics engineers or electrical and electronics, they were facing problems in understanding how the electrons flow and how the circuit works, how the circuit behaves in a different situation. So for that, the basic understanding of the fundamental knowledge is very important. So this particular tool will be very much helpful for the teacher to teach the concepts in a better way. So that will be helpful for the learners also. They can learn the electronics in a happy and a fun way. Okay, so now I'm going to showcase the tool. So in our DLD website we have e-circuit. So we can go for this sample circuit. So in this sample circuit, through this tool, through this e-circuit, we can see here there are number of options for us. The icons, we can create new files, and we can import the file also, or we can make our own file. We can edit it, we can draw the circuit, and we can have the waveform, the stacks also is there. So if you want to see both the input and output waveforms all in one, that's also possible by using stack all. And if you want separately, then you can click on unstack all, so you will be getting the waveforms separately. And whatever the things you want to showcase, either the current, voltage, how much amount of power, if you click on power, it will showcase what is the amount of total power, and what is the value of resistor. If you want the background white color, so we can change the background. Okay, so if you click on the component, if you just close the circuit, now you can see what is the power, what is the resonance value, the total power is. So you can see here that power rating is changing. Okay, so if you want to showcase unstack all, so you can see the value of voltage, what is the amount of voltage, the current flowing through this. Okay, this is 50 milliamps current is flowing, and the voltage range is minus 1 to 1 picovolt. Okay, so if the switch is open, you can see whatever the energy it is stored, that will be flowing, and the capacitor start charging. Okay, so we can see the waveform, what is the voltage. So we can see here, so the current voltage is minus I'm sorry, the voltage is around 4 volt. Okay, so similarly we can see, we can draw a new circuit also. If you want to change this, if you want to remove this inductor, you can stop this thing, you can remove it, we can close the thing, and we can run it. So now what is the changes happening in the circuit? Supposing if I want to connect a lamp, how it behaves. If I want to completely change the circuit, I can draw a new circuit, I can add a resistor, you can connect one more resistor. So for teaching the complex circuit and all, it will be very, I can change the value of the resistor also, I can add one, we can do it, you can add a lamp. Okay, so now what is the amount of current flowing through that if I am adding one more capacitor? If we add a capacitor over here, and if we give an voltage source, and connect the wires, supposing I want to connect a switch, and after that I want to do it, we can connect a switch in between also to control the current flow. Can add a switch from the passive component link, and after that we can add a wire over there, right? So if you want to change the polarity, swap terminals, the polarity will be changed. Okay, if you want to change the value of the resistor, so that also we can do it by just changing. So instead of 1 kilo ohm, I am just giving 3 kilo ohm resistor. Okay, so here apply. Okay, so now here also I want to change, if you want to change it, you can do it. Okay, so now we can run the potential also. If you want, we can change the potential. So suppose instead of 5 volt, I am just giving 10 volt DC supply, we can give, apply. Okay, so now we can run the thing. So if we want to see the output waveform, we can see the output waveform, view in scope. This is the input voltage, so we can see it's 10 volt, and we can see the voltage across 3 kilo ohm resistance, and if you want to see the voltage across the lamp or the power drawn by the lamp, that also we can see. So if you can combine all, stack all, you can see the output. So if I am opening this switch, how it is going. So because of this 3 kilo, most of the power it's drawn here itself. So if I am changing the resistor value, how it changes we can see. So if I am just removing this capacitor by wire, and if I am closing this switch, now we can see there is a current flow through the bulb. So the lamp glows now. So before, because of the capacitance, the potentials are not allowing, because the lamp is not glowing. So like that we can give them, analyze the circuit by varying the circuit components, and you can see. Okay, so this is the voltage. So we can unstack all also, and we can see the waveform. Okay, so view in scope, you can see the voltage. Suppose if I am changing this capacitor, this resistor into inductor, how the same circuit behaves, that also we can analyze. Just add an inductor. So now we can see how the same circuit behaves. The waveform gets changes, altered. Okay, so even if I am changing this resistor into, if I am changing the capacitor, if I am adding a capacitor here, now we can see how the current flows. What is the change? Now the electrons are moving very slowly. What is the impedance? We can calculate. What is the power? What is the voltage? Okay, so here there is no connection, so it is showing bad connection here. So we can delete, and we can connect the wires. Now we can run, and we can see. So there is a change in the current, there's a disturbance, noise. So the capacitor now gets charged. So how the disturbances causes, so that and all we can analyze it. Okay, so there are so many sample circuits also available. For example, series resonance. So we can see the waveforms of the voltage. So like that, this tool will be very much helpful for the teachers to teach the electronic lessons or electronic subjects very easily, so that the students can visualize how the current flows. Okay, and what is the phase difference between this, what do you mean by phase difference, when the voltage and current will lag or lead. Okay, so the all sort of analysis they can do it very easily. So this is a very good tool for the teachers to teach electronic subject in a better way and in an easy way. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Happy learning. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, madam, for giving a deep insight on various circuit simulation tools, which will be useful for our students and faculty members to learn in-depth concept about the electronics through digital platform. Hope the participants may have many queries and they can ask the questions at the end of the session, how to effectively use these kind of tools for learning. So now I invite Dr. Radhakrishnan to discuss on learning mathematics with simulation tools. I welcome you, sir.
Hi, this is Radhakrishnan from Directorate of Learning and Development. To improve the teaching and learning of mathematics, we encourage the active learning process through visualize the concepts through tools. For example, taking the topic of a diagonalization, we explained through the eigenvectors, make a set of axes corresponding to the diagonal matrix which have entries from the eigenvalues of the matrices. So for a better understanding, so we have to give this explanation with respect to this diagonal axis. So the student have a better understanding, and we improve the critical thinking and the cognitive level of thinking, and where are we to use this concept according to their domain. So once they understand the concept, they can uh, improve their thoughts, and they may apply the concepts to their domain. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was a wonderful discussion. This was a hard discussion across the world in any world forum and teaching learning forum. Experts are looking for how to teach mathematics effectively, because this is the one where there is a gap identified, because how effectively to apply the mathematics concepts, how to make the students to learn the application of mathematical concepts uh, is one which everybody is looking for, and you have given a wonderful insight on how to learn mathematics with the simulation tools and the applications. Thank you very much. And now I invite Mr. Manikandan to brief about learning coding using digital technologies.
First of all, very good morning to each and everyone, and a very happy Teachers' Day to every teachers out there. Today, in this session, we are going to deal about technological initiatives taken by SRM Institute of Science and Technology for developing a most important 21st century skill set, which is coding among the learners from various disciplines to make them job ready. If you consider, irrespective of the domain, one of the most vital skill sets through which the learners can survive in this today's job market is coding. But usually the learners who are coming out from the schools usually tend to develop a myth called programming is a difficult thing to learn. But to break that particular myth and make them learn programming, we have to give them a platform which they are interested in, for which we have to impose some kind of technological aspects into the platform, as well as it should be more interactive and attractive to them, so that they can spend time with that particular platform. In that way, SRM Institute of Science and Technology have taken a great initiative to develop programming skill sets among the learners, and we have developed our own tool called eLab, through which we are making the learners ready for market requirements. They can also make themselves competitive among the fellow friends and learners around the world by the skill sets learned through this particular platform. So without much delay, I am going to have a brief demonstration about the ELAB competitive coding tool. Okay, we can move on. Demonstration about ELAB coding platform. Here, if you consider, this is actual typical student login, where student will get informations like his user ID, name, programs solved, and the ranking of the particular individual. Here, based on the academic courses offered to a particular individual, he or she will enroll set up courses in each and every semester. Initially, when individual enters into the institution, in the first semester, he will get a introductory programming course named C programming. Then in subsequent semesters, based on their discipline, they will enroll into various courses. Here, if you consider a particular course dashboard, if you click the particular course dashboard, it will redirect the learners to a circle where he or she will have 10 different topics of interest with respect to the particular course. Here in this case, the object oriented programming course has been divided into 10 different topics, and if you consider a particular topic, it is subdivided into 3 different levels. These levels are categorized based on the Bloom's taxonomy, and in each and every particular level, the student will have 10 different questions. This each and every smaller sector indicates a particular question, and with respect to the color indication, the red color indicates the questions which the students not yet attempted, and the yellow color indicates the questions which the students has attempted but not completed, and green color is the one which indicates the successful completion of the particular question. Imposing yes level by level challenges to the individual, we are making them we are pushing them to the real competitive coding environment in real time, through which their job requirements and other things are taken care of. Here if you click a particular question, you will have the set of question descriptions where unlike the regular kind of lab programs which most of the students are in India are doing, where the questions will be a direct question. Here we have make the thing interesting by giving them a scenario. Students has to read this scenario, and they have to understand the thing which are expected from them in form of coding logic, and based on the logic expected from the particular question, they have to write a code in the code editor. When they have done some errors in the particular coding, by running the code for the custom input, they will get the errors in the same portal, and based on that errors, they can rectify their code and they can rerun the particular code a number of times. Once they have successfully satisfied all the test cases given in the particular coding particular question, then the particular question will evaluate all the given test cases, which I will show in another question. Here for example, I am typing some sample content. and I am running it for a custom input, but this particular code doesn't satisfy the requirements of this particular programming logic expected from the particular question. So students will get a indication that particular logical test cases and mandatory test cases are not passed. Apart from this logical and syntax errors, this particular tool will also check for the case sensitivity and space sensitivities. By imposing such a strict constraints among the learners will get practice to these things, and which will be very much helpful for them when they are moving into the competitive coding. Since most of the companies are doing the recruitment process through competitive coding, this will automatically make the learners very much adaptive to the job recruitment process, through which they can crack the interviews in a much easier way. I think I have given a brief demonstration about the tool, and if you consider this set of courses available in the particular tool, there are around 23 courses available, which are listed here, which are taken by the learners as part of academic as well as for the placement training purposes. Here also, to motivate the learners, we are giving them the leaderboard status, live leaderboard status, where they can see their own positions among the fellow learners. Also, this particular tool has a integrated test module through which faculty members can schedule the test anywhere, anytime, irrespective of the infrastructure. They can schedule the test and they can conduct the test to each and every individuals or as a batch. Okay. Also, the new learners who are very new to this particular platform can read this frequently asked question session, and through which they can know about the particular coding platform. I think that's it from my end. Hope this session is very much useful for the fellow teachers as well as the students. So hope this will bring a change among the learners in a particular higher education domain as well as on the other disciplines. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Manikandan. Thank you for sharing the best practices in coding. I think this will be more useful for our students because students lack coding practice, and they this particular using a digital platform, digital technologies. I think they will upskill their coding practice, and they will try to practice more and more to strengthen their coding skills, which is the need of the hour. Thank you very much. And now invite Mr. Sudan to discuss about reducing stress among students and faculty members. Please, welcome.
Thanks to all given this opportunity for me. I am Sudan. I am working from SRMIST DLD department. Happy Teachers Day. Teachers, its main role of contribution of student development. Today we are talk about role of yoga, how to develop higher education students, and role of teachers. Okay, teachers, it's making a main important contribution of to effort the students development. Then teacher responsible shaping not only for the students, they should be focus the youth also. Why? Because our youth, it's uh, it's it's wonderful resource for our nations. Even everyone knows teachers makes equality for all the students as well. They are sharing their experience, knowledge, and and efforts to students' development and futures. Okay, now let us go to presentation. Yeah, today let us talk about importance of yoga in higher education and role of the teachers. Yes, yoga. Yoga, it's called union, which is means in union. It's combination of physical and mind. It's combination of physical body and mind and soul. Uh, Father of the yoga, Patanjali, and South India, Tirumula, they described through Patanjali Yoga Sutra and Tirumantram. It's all this script. It explains benefit of the yoga. Yeah, current scenario. The students they got the depression related to academic stress. Academic stress. There are the many situation. It will becomes. It's related to grade system and curriculars as well. They they are family situations. They get both in, not only for the students, teachers also. Then the teachers should be exactly find out what is the problem in students. Then they will teach them and educate them how to reduce the stress. Yes, first one, the stress, it's body way of responding any kind of demand and trade. Stress, it's in modern society, modern current scenario, it's everyone has become a global health problem. Stress, it's not always the best. Sometimes it will be help us perform under pressure and motivate to best. Uh, Stress actually four types of factors, four factors. One, it will be affected physiological factors and psychological factor and emotional factors and behavioral factor. First one, behavioral factor, it will be affect of whomever affected in stress, fatigue and skin irritations and headache, all those things, it will become physiological factors, physiological variable. Another one is psychological variable like mental variations. It's related to worrying and negativity and fogging thinking. All this included in mind related. That means it's a psychological related factors it will be affected. And third one is emotional factors. It's related to depressions, loss of concentration, all those things. It's included in emotional. And final one is a behavior. This one is purely loss of attitude. Once you practice of regular manner, it's yoga, it's reduce the anxiety and stress all the students. Stress physiological, there are the two types, one for fight system, another one for flight system. For example, if you have any challenges, you can easy to overcome that one, that a fight system. Or it's not possible for overcome, then we be away from the challenges, right? That one is a flight systems. At the same time, while practice of the yoga, it will be improve the brain functions and help to students to work attentions. That, for example, Dr. Joy Jones from California, University of California, he has proven his research. While the practice of super brain yoga, it helps us stimulate the brain, students' brain, uh, brain as well. Their concentration, attention, it will be improved as well. Alpha waves, it will be increased gradually in upper manner. Then their creativity, it will be rise. All those things, it helps through the yoga systems. Next one, it's breathing. It's very helpful for the students. Remember, its current scenario, uh, nobody it's not aware about the breathings. Breathings means it's awareness about our breath. We know that per day how many times we are breathing and breathe out. Per day, 21,600 times we are consciously and unconsciously breathing and breathe out. In this manner, our lifespan should be uh, nearby 120 years, 120 years almost. Once we are getting angry, depression, stress, unwanted worries, all those things, it will be rise our breathing rates simultaneously in uh, higher level, maybe more than 35,000 or 40,000. Automatically, that heart rate, it will be rise. At the same time, the lifelong, it will be reduced. Once we concentrate our breathing and practice of breathing exercise, we live our lifestyle. It's very long manner. Then their concentration level, it will be improved, and their focus, it will be reached as per their destination point. Next one, it will be peace of mind. Once they practice of meditation, it will be help them. Their thoughts, it will be its the number of thought, it will be less. At the same time, they attain the peace of the mind. Uh, it will be help for academic students. Then boost of the immunity and improve the physical appearance. This asana is one of the third steps of Astanga Namaskar, Astanga Yoga. There are the many types of asanas, standing asanas, sitting asanas, and twisting and standing asanas, leg balance asanas, and hand balancing asanas. This all the asanas, it will be help them shape them in perfect manner. That means their muscles and skeleton systems. What are the affected parts? It will be automatically. It will be give a good shape. Then sleeping, it's one of the main thing for academic students. And normally, students should be take a 7 to 8 hours sleep, healthy. Then they order to stay energetic. Otherwise, without the sound sleep, they are automatically they won't be concentrate their studies next day. Then they are like lazy. They won't be energetic. So this practice of yoga, it helps the body and mind to relax, and they got the sound sleep when the practice of yoga. Then automatically they got energetic next day. Then teachers should be educate them students in the proper sleep as well. We need to educate the students won't be take before they sleep any mobile or electronics items before before sleep. And and next one, conclusion. This conclusion, yoga itself to flow of energy, oxygen, a proper hormonal circulation system in all the body, and pranayama, it's a breathing exercise, stimulate the nerves tips in the lungs, which are connected to the pituitary gland. It is the one of the master gland, and so it's regulate. It's a proper manner in all the hormone systems. Then regular practice of meditation has influenced the stress producing the mechanism thereby causing a reversible of stress. Next one, the final remarks. While practice of yoga and meditation, if practiced regular manner, would be prevent and reduce all the systems in yoga. Practice of yoga for health and wealth and peace. Yoga is not exercise; it is way of life. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sudan. It was an excellent, just entirely different topic. I think this is a very need of the hour, reducing stress. We could able to see that from the media, like students end up in a different way because of stress. Uh, uh, we as an education institute, or we as a faculty member, we need to know that what are the ways to reduce stress among students, not only this for the students, even for the faculty members. So I think the points which you have discussed and the ways to reduce stress will be really useful for all the faculty members and students of SRMIST. And also you can able to, I think there will be a detailed session. We expect you to give a detailed session on this particular techniques to reduce stress in some other program. Thank you very much, sir. And we have come to the end of this panel discussion. And now it's time for the questions. I request, and we could able to see many questions in the chat box. I think I will just try to read one by one for the answers from the experts. And if there is any query, you can able to raise up a hand so that I can unmute the mic and you can ask the questions. Over to the questions. Is there any more queries, participants? If there are no more queries, then we can wind up this session. Okay, fine. So I thank all the panelists for spending your valuable time and discussing about various topics, and also patiently answering the queries asked by the participants. I hope the participants would have benefited uh, through this wonderful panel discussion. As I said, the recorded version of this particular program will be shared very shortly to your respective email IDs. You can able to share it to your faculty colleagues who have missed this particular panel discussion. Thank you all. Thank you. Thanks again. We'll meet in some other wonderful session like this. Thank you very much.